Hello, how are you?
Good. How are
Oh,
you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to see you. Sometimes the beginning bit of the joining and accepting is a bit tricky.
It really is. Well, anyway, we worked it out.
We did it.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
No, thank goodness. It's really good to see you.
You
Really good to see
too. You too.
you.
It's
Yeah,
been a
oh, well,
while.
it's been a good while. So I'll just introduce you, Jane, for those people who maybe don't know you yet. So this is Jane Christie from Spiral Soul Apothecary. Apothecary, that's a tricky word for me. Even
Everybody
in the
else, I think.
daytime. Yeah. Jane is a qualified herbalist and has been working with herbal remedies and things for over 20 years and lives in Derry in Ireland. And Jane puts on all sorts of different courses where you too can learn to be your own herbalist, as well as offering herbal remedies to people on a one-to-one basis. Is that right? As well as making teas and all sorts of things that are available on her online shop. And actually, right now, while I've been waiting for you, I've been having my nice drink of my raw cacao mushroom maca while I was waiting for you. Yeah, so it's wonderful. And also, I know Jane from when she used to live in Manchester. Yeah, yeah. So and then now you're back over in Ireland. Um, yeah, it's really good to see you.
Yeah, you too. It's so lovely that, whenever we were in Manchester, we were all young and vibrant and in our 20s, and now we're kind of finding our way, with nature, that we're really finding that our work has led us, both and a few of us in this kind of nature direction. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that was kind of blossoming at the time in like central kind of the cement garden that we were kind of living in.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah. So did you receive the card deck, Jane, through the post?
I have. They're here and they're gorgeous.
Oh, I
I love
wondered what you
them.
think of it.
Yeah, do you know what? They're so beautiful. I feel my heart's just all like with them, I've been looking through them, and really just the practices are just so beautiful. And even, just even reading through them, the sense of coming back to yourself, coming back to a place of safety. I don't know,
Oh,
or really,
great.
through nature, through that nature connection. And even whenever I was waiting to come on here, I was just kind of reflecting on them and sitting, and I look out over trees and flowering gorse
Yeah.
from my window, and just sitting, it just invites that kind of sitting and being with nature. And I was reading about one about breathing with a tree, and how beautiful beautiful that is. It's so simple, but it's so very profound, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 totally.
Yeah,
I think that's the
so
thing about all of them. They are pretty simple, but hopefully enable that kind of more reconnection. Because I think that's one of the things is we often feel so disconnected and disconnected from the idea that we are nature, you know.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I just think all of these invitations that you've kind of created, yeah, they are really simple, but I think that that's the essence of it all. It is really simple, but we've
Yeah,
forgotten.
yeah.
It's who we are, and it's just a real kind of opportunity. Each one kind of gives us that opportunity to kind of root in
Mm.
and kind of blossom, and grow from that rooted place.
Yeah.
They're really special, Ness. Honestly, they're
Oh,
they're just beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. So today Jane chose a exercise that was indoors, partly because all of our, I mean, I live in a place where my reception isn't that great, to be honest, if I'm out and about. And I'm imagining it might be the same for you, Jane, where you are.
Yeah, and I think just, whenever you're on something like a live, you just want to keep things simple. We don't want to make anything too kind of complicated, do we?
No, exactly. Exactly. So we chose one that was indoors, and quite a simple one, which is actually one of my favourite pictures. So I took this picture at Coniston Lake. I don't know if have you ever been to Coniston in the Lake
I'm
District?
not sure if I
Coniston?
have in the Lake District.
Yeah. I basically just sort of hung off the edge of like a little pier and took this picture. And anyway, I really liked it. So we have a picture of water on one side, and on the other side is the activity that we kind of chose between us, which is called Connect with the Qualities of Water. And I'll just read the little blurb. There's only a tiny bit for this one. When I was researching how much water we have in our bodies, there was so much controversy randomly about how much. Like, it depends on your age and depends on your gender, all of these different things apparently. So I kind of widened it, and to water makes up 45 to 75% of our bodies. So there you go. You see, you see that people couldn't make their minds up. Connecting to the qualities of water externally can help us to connect with our own water-like qualities. So in the ways that we can be like water, as we're made up of so much water. There's 4 different steps to this activity, and Jane, I'm going to invite you to kind of share anything that comes up for you. Just share what feels okay for you. And I would always remind anybody that's doing any of the exercises to adapt them to suit you. So if anything doesn't feel right, or just make it sort of fit you so that it's a calming and kind of connecting exercise for you. So for example, if thinking of a particular memory of water is activating or not pleasant, you might want to think of something else. There's an example. Then the other thing to do, I guess, Jane, first of all, is to just check in, just kind of notice what's happening in your body right now. So is there any kind of, I'm feeling a bit nervous because I'm live on the internet. But just kind of notice what's happening in your body. Maybe notice any emotions or mood, maybe any thoughts that are running in your mind, and notice where you're at. Just have a check in. Notice you.
Do you want me to share about it?
If it feels okay to, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling good and surprisingly relaxed for being on a live video. I'm slightly aware that my cat is rubbing at the door, so I might just let her
That
in.
sounds like a
So,
good idea. She probably wants to get in on the action.
yeah, she'll want in and she'll immediately want out again, you know, that crack. So,
My dog's the
but
same.
yeah, feeling good, feeling settled, feeling happy, I'm feeling excited. It's really nice to connect with you again, Ness, and yeah, I'm really excited for you. Oh, but you know, for you having created something so beautiful and you're putting it out into the world, it's really powerful, and I think I'm feeling really happy about that.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. I feel really warm. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's lovely. So the first part of the exercise the number 1, it says bring to mind memories of water you have seen or looked at an image of water, or you could look at an image of water from these cards, it says, and notice the qualities, so the qualities of water. So it might be a kind of steadily flowing river, or a waterfall, or a still pond. And maybe a sort of steadily flowing river might bring up feelings or qualities of powerful, maybe quick, maybe flexible, moving with the banks. Maybe a waterfall has the qualities of beauty, maybe of letting go, maybe of trust. Maybe a still pond would have the qualities of being calm, maybe being steady, reflective, transparent, and clear. So maybe just take a moment, Jane, to think about what it is that you would like So given some sort of suggestions, so like powerful, flexible, letting go, or calm and steady, and maybe just choose a quality that you would like to cultivate. You could share it with us, or you don't need to, whichever you feel.
I think for me, I think I really resonated with this exercise because, I think I really seek out
Yeah.
water whenever I'm, I think whenever I'm feeling quite kind of almost like overwhelmed or there's just a lot going on, whether it's just a lot going on in my own mind,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, and I really kind of tend to seek out water at those
Mm.
times, and I really like going to the beach.
Right.
We're really blessed. In the north of Ireland, we're so blessed with
Mm.
so many incredible beaches.
Mm.
So I really, I'm just thinking of whenever I go to the beach, and what it is I'm seeking and what it is that I'm
Mm.
really wanting to
Yeah.
cultivate through that.
Yeah.
And the kind of water that I seek is the sea, obviously, and I really love sitting on a beach and looking out at the sea when there's nothing else. It's almost just
Oh,
there's just sea
yeah.
to the horizon,
Yeah.
you know, that vast. It's like kind of just clearing and that kind of, the sea, the waves kind of coming in and out. And that, I suppose there's a steadiness there, isn't there?
Mm.
With the kind of in and out of the waves and of the tide. But that vastness and there's just so much
Yeah.
space, and from that kind of my own cluttered mind, it's almost like kind of a letting go, but there's that, I was going to say rhythmicity, just
Yeah.
making up words,
Yeah.
but you know what I
I
mean?
do.
'Cause- and there's a
Yeah.
cleansing kind
Yeah.
of feeling. Yeah, so I think that I really, really seek that kind of, it's almost like a clarity, a letting go,
Mm.
like that the water can almost take it,
Mm. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Mm,
I guess like the vastness and the openness and just the immensity of all that it holds. It can
mm,
hold so much, so deep, and so
yeah,
and yeah,
and it
the
goes and goes and goes
rhythm.
and goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But so another experience is like it kind of bubbled up where, with a river. So can I say another one?
That'd be great.
So another one that I kind of think of, like whenever you said about like a Russian river.
Yeah.
So whenever if I'm at a river, and I live very close to a river here, it's called the River
Mm.
Faughan.
Right.
So and yeah, and it's a special river to me because really kind of generations of my family have grown up next to this river, the River
Wow.
Faughan. Yeah, on both sides. But so years ago, not long after I moved home, probably home here, myself and my now husband lived down by the river just for a few months. It
Yeah.
wasn't a long time, but in our yurt and
Yeah.
put it right by the river.
Yeah.
And that what really stays with me about that time is going to sleep with the sound of the river
Mm.
flowing past.
Yeah.
And at that time anyway, and how I feel it now, if I'm by a river, it just evokes that feeling.
Mm.
And it's almost like a cleansing, that because the river just keeps on flowing in this one direction.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful noise, but it's this kind of, it's like it's that kind of, it's a similar kind of feeling that I get, that cleansing away
Mm.
it just takes, like, it almost like it flows through me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just such a beautiful kind of refreshing and yeah, it's just such a beautiful feeling. It's so
Mm.
gorgeous.
I love that. And it's interesting, like the rivers flow to the sea, so there's something about, it takes it, and then it's, in the sea, this vast
Mm.
ocean.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Mm.
kind of, yeah, it takes it all away, and then it just kind of spreads out, and it's able for that vastness, it's able to hold it and almost kind of, I don't know if transmute it is the right kind of word, but kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was also thinking about I can't think of the word. Oh, it's gone from my mind. But when you put drops into a water, titration, you put drops into a water, and it might be a really concentrated thing. I guess what's coming to my mind is Vimto, but that's not really what I mean. But and then and if I imagine like these difficulties and these worries and all this stuff that's kind of holding me down, I imagine it kind of washing through me as a river and washing into the vastness of the ocean, like how much more concentrated that is. Like not only can the ocean hold it, but it kind of almost becomes see-through again because it's so unconcentrated. That's not the word, is it? But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It just kind of, yeah, it doesn't dissolve, but yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I just feel like, and I really love that word, like refreshing
Mm,
or freshening. I love that.
yeah,
And I suppose, water does that as well. It's like kind of cleansing and refreshing. So, and renewing. Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
absolutely. Do you swim in the river?
I have swum in the river, but it's really interesting because I grew up here.
Mm.
And my mum, with and you can understand why, she put the absolute fear of
Oh,
death into me of the
yeah,
river. So I would have had like parties,
yeah,
and kind of wee festivals, and lots of friends coming in. We'd have
yeah,
loads of fun, and playing music and dancing, and kind of like a freedom,
yeah,
that a freedom down by the river. And then I remember one year it was really hot, and people were swimming in the river, and I was just like,
yeah,
and I was like, come on in, it's grand. And I was like, kind of going in up to my knees. And then I was like, right, okay, I'll sit down now. And that's as much as I could do because,
yeah,
those
yeah.
childhoods,
It's ingrained. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But the rest were swimming in the river, and a friend, but he was like, this is great.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Oh, it sounds nice though. That I have a river at the back of my house as well, and I sleep listening to the river. And I think I have a kind of a similar feeling actually before I go to sleep. A similar thing to what you were saying. It's almost like the worries of the day. It's like as though I can put them onto the river and they can be taken. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of have
It's
that as a little ritual that I have. So it's interesting that it was a similar thing to what you
mm.
were saying.
And you consciously do that every
Yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like it's a real it's a really natural kind of thing to do, isn't it?
Mm, yeah,
I love that you do that too.
yeah.
That's great.
That's cool, isn't it?
Mm, yeah.
It's really cool. The next bit of the exercise, I'm just going to read it. It says a significant proportion of the water within you is billions of years old.
Wow.
I know, right? It it likely really has been a calm pool, a steady river, a waterfall, an ocean. So imagine the water in your body right now, all the water, that 45 to 70% of your body that is water, taking on the qualities that you wish to cultivate. So that water that maybe has been a rushing river or a vast ocean, becoming that again in your body.
That's so beautiful. It's funny because I'm feeling like, how just at different times you would want the different qualities.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, oh, I just want to be a calm, laugh, I just want to be
Yeah.
really calm and gently laughing. But then
Mm.
it's like the excitement of being,
Yeah.
like
Mountain.
almost like a waterfall
Yeah.
that's being created just for a short time because there's just been a deluge of rain. Do you know how exciting it must
Yeah.
be to be that waterfall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in
Totally.
that time, it's like, oh, there's so,
Yeah. And like it's kind
mm,
of interesting, like sometimes maybe I feel like a anxiousness, like of like a river rapids, like rapids of a river. And it's like rapids of a river, rapids of a river. But if I kind of imagine that rapids of a river maybe going falling down a waterfall and then kind of landing in a waterfall pool that's usually quite still and clear and calm. And if I imagine that process, it kind of helps me to feel like the water within me is less agitated, less rapid.
mm,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. I really feel like excitement bubbling up in me. And it's that kind of bubbling up as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like a geyser. What they call geysers? Like
Oh
in like
my
Iceland.
geezers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's reminded me as well of I'm not going to say this right, his name right, but Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
know
that is right.
Hanh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember being at a retreat of his, and
Wow,
he would talk about, well, it was in the south of Ireland, but
that's
anyway,
cool.
he would talk about, I see little cloud in my tea. So it's that
Oh,
kind of acknowledge, it's interbeing, isn't it? And that's that thing of, the water in our body is so ancient.
yeah.
And it's that kind of acknowledgement of this water in my tea,
Mm,
you were once a cloud, and I suppose, and that's,
yeah.
but I hadn't thought about it in terms of the water in our body as well, that, that once we were a cloud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
75% of us was a cloud once.
I love that.
How mad is
Oh,
it?
gee, there's a lot of contemplation in that, isn't there? Where that'll take, where that would take you. It's just really, it's that, and that's the thing, isn't it? And that's about connecting with nature, why it's such a homecoming,
Yeah.
and why it really brings us to that, for me, like a place of safety,
Mm,
of like, oh, remembering,
yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
oh yes, of
Mm,
course, 75% of me was once a cloud.
yeah. And it also
Yeah.
brings for me like a real sense of like, oh yeah, I do belong here. I do belong here. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe a more of a trust in myself because, so much of me is billions of years old. So much of me has been here. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it's really beautiful in this kind of chaotic, what feels like very destructive world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of, remembering kind of our own kind of ancientness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I suppose it kind of connects us back to kind of the ancient, our ancient ancestors and how that, as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, totally. Like how much of this water that's within us, it's been waterfalls and oceans and all of that, but it's also been in other bodies.
Mm, yeah. And that water holds memory.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But really,
Really?
and that memory is within us, and and that's that remembering again.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we kind of pay attention and have awareness of that, I think the cultivation of those things can become much more accessible to us. You know, we can much more access that sense of being a still pool, being an open ocean, being a rocking, soothing wave. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was just thinking as well that, we're talking about it now, but and I know that with your cards you could use them as a therapist, or you could use them in any way that you wanted,
Yeah.
couldn't you, with friends or with your family, with your children.
Yeah.
But if you're using them on your own, or and you're contemplating this, or you're just being
Yeah.
in it, and like now we're putting words to it,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the unknowable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
but the like what is, and the
Mm.
beingness of it,
Yeah.
that maybe doesn't have any words, and maybe will never, but it's in the beingness of
Yeah.
it that,
Yeah. Yeah. And in the
yeah,
awe and the wonder, because before when you were speaking, I was thinking about how in some ways it humbles me. You know, I have a sense of humbleness, but not humbleness as in less than, but in connected with.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of, that there's what is great, well, not greater than, but that we're part of,
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's not just kind of us on, like me on my own.
Mm.
I am part of something, and I have been
Yeah.
for such a long time. It didn't, and it's almost that it didn't start with me, and it's not going to end with me.
Yeah. 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 Because the thing is I have been a cloud. The water within me has been a cloud and a raging river and a pond and maybe through other bodies and will be again.
Mm, mhm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So yes, beautiful, really beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. I have number 4 here, which is weirdly just this basically the story that I just told, which I hadn't realised that I'd put quite so explicitly on this card. Number 4, if you feel like a rushing waterfall, I guess I said like a rapid river rapids, didn't I? You can remember that the pool below is often calm and still, quickly after the fall, and you can visualize and sense this transformation within you as you remember and visualize that. Mm.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. God, I have loved this chat.
So good.
So good.
Oh,
So much to think about. It's mind blowing, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, yeah, I'm really excited about doing the activities, and just being with them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what a gift to be just, given. Here you go, to hear lots, so many activities to just choose, just pick one, and off you go.
Yeah. And they're quite short. And like you said at the beginning, like simple. Like they're quite kind of, I mean, we've taken a while because we've been chatting and whatever, but you could probably do this in like a couple of minutes. So it's just like a couple of minutes in the day to just reconnect with all of that. Like you said before, like simple but can be profound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, sometimes, even though I really love going to the sea to, release and to just calm and to be, sometimes I forget that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
forget that the sea is there. I forget that the river is there.
Yeah. Yeah. We do,
Because we
don't
just
we?
get
Yeah.
so
Caught up.
caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
And it
whirlpool.
doesn't even, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I suppose, as well, you don't have to go any distance. You can just step outside, can't you?
You could just take a drink. What? Or mushroom maca that has water.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Oh, thank you so much, Jane. I really, really, really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed chatting about it. It's been so good. It's been
Yeah, it's been
so
gorgeous.
good.
Thank you so much, Ness. And I am absolutely going to treasure these as well. So I really appreciate them. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And I mentioned before that Jane does courses. At the moment, I'm taking Jane's online course, and it's amazing. So I absolutely recommend it. I 100% recommend it. I think do you still have a discount going on? Is that ended now?
I don't have a discount at the minute, but I could give you a wee code. I could give you a code for like 20% off if you wanted.
Yeah. Do you want to tell people what the code is?
Oh, well, I don't know what it
Okay.
is right now, but
I'll put it in the
maybe if
thing.
I
I'll put it in the thing.
yeah, that'll do. But yeah,
Excellent.
it's a wild spring herbal remedy making course. So it's learning to make herbal remedies with just the wild herbs that are just around us. And there is that element of nature connection as well.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and kind of yeah, connecting to the energy of spring and how to kind of harness that and embody that. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Ness. I'm glad you
Oh,
enjoy it.
yeah, I love it. It's really, really great. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Oh,
Such a good
brilliant.
offering. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jane. It's been
Oh,
lovely to
thank
see
you.
you.
You too. You too.
Okay, take
All
care.
right.
See you soon.
Bye.
Lots of love. Bye bye.